Tales of Thorinis, Episode 8, A City on Edge. Nix and Farvi stared at Deus's motionless body, their eyes wide with panic as the metallic feminine voice chimed out an ominous countdown. "What the hell is that?" Farvi blurted, his voice cracking under the weight of shock. Without waiting for an answer, the two friends lunged forward, scrambling to aid their fallen comrade. Time became a blur, an endless loop of frenzied seconds filled with the shrill screeching emanating from Deus's body. The noise gnawed at their nerves, making it near impossible to think. Hands shaking, Nix and Farvi tore through Deus's mechanical shell, their movements desperate and wild. "Farvi, we don't figure something out, he's going to take us with him," Nix shouted, his voice raw with fear. His usually steady eyes darted around, searching for something, anything that could help. "I know, Nix, damn it, I'm trying." Farvi's voice rose to a fever pitch, thick with frustration and adrenaline. He clawed at Deus's chest plate, eyes scanning the labyrinth of cables and mechanisms. "There's got to be a switch here," Nix muttered, his fingers slipping as sweat beaded down his brow. With a surge of determination, he clutched at the armored plate atop Deus's head and yanked it off, revealing the intricate tangle of circuits beneath. Farvi's breath came in ragged gasps as he probed through the cables, his hands moving with a mixture of urgency and hesitation. The screeching was growing louder, more piercing, slicing through their skulls like shards of glass. Then, with a gut-wrenching roar, Farvi grabbed a thick, coiled cable and tore it free. The noise cut off instantly. Silence swept in, so sudden it was deafening. Nix and Farvi exchanged a wide-eyed look, disbelief etched across their faces. "We did it," Nix shouted, his voice wavering between a laugh and a sob. Deus's body twitched, then emitted a series of sputtering clicks as his eyes fluttered open. Ugh, feeling weird. What just happened? His voice was raspy, mechanical undertones lacing every word. Nix let out a burst of hysterical laughter, the sheer madness of the moment bubbling up from his chest. Farvi managed a weary grin as he reached out and fixed the armor plate back over Deus's head, his good arm steady, the other limp and useless against his side. "Get up, Tin Man," Farvi said, exhaustion pulling at his features. "We made it." With strained effort, Deus pushed himself upright, aided by Nix and Farvi's supporting hands. His limbs trembled as he drew himself up to full height. Farvi bent down, retrieving the orcish axe he had dropped earlier. It felt heavier now, with pain radiating through his arm, but he managed a half smile as he tossed it to Deus. "You've earned this, big guy." Deus's eyes lit up with the faintest glimmer of pride. "Thanks," he muttered, though his battered frame hinted at the battle's toll. "Let's head back." The trio turned, making their way toward the village. Each step felt like victory carved from the edge of defeat, but soon an unsettling realization set in. Deus staggered every few paces, sparks sputtering from his neck like embers flaring up before death. "Deus, hang in there," Nix said, abandoning his attempt to set Farvi's damaged arm. They exchanged a look of understanding, then hurried to support their friend, gripping him by the shoulders and guiding him forward. The village lay ahead, its crooked rooftops silhouetted against the darkening sky. A flicker of hope stirred in their chests, but they knew the struggle wasn't over yet. Farvi rushed forward, voice urgent. "Quickly, give us water," he demanded of a nearby farmer, his tone leaving no room for hesitation. Nix's eyes flashed with irritation. "Have you lost your mind? Do you think Deus fucking drinks water?" His voice cracked with exasperation, but Farvi ignored him, letting the tension drop as the farmer moved to assist them. The farmer, wide-eyed and wary, brought over what he could: hay for makeshift beds, rags for their wounds, and a few crude tools. With those, Nix and Farvi worked on Deus, bolting him together piece by piece. as he lay unmoving on the ground. No blacksmith or engineer would have dared call it a finished job, but Nix and Farvi shared a brief, exhausted look of triumph. For now, Deus was in one piece. As fatigue took hold and their bodies sank into the hay, the gentle crackle of the fire beside them was the only sound in the quiet night. Slowly, Deus's system stirred to life. His fingers clenched into a trembling fist, the glow in his visor returning with a faint, soft red light. But within, a storm raged. The orcs' brutal attacks had left their mark, but this was different, an unseen, insidious battle. In the darkest moments of the war, the orc shamans had called on their dark lords to sow chaos among the warforged rank, seizing control of their very souls. This same dark force now buzzed through Deus's circuits, a relentless parasite. Nix and Farvi, unaware of the battle Deus was fighting, drifted into an uneasy slumber. Alone and trapped within his own mind, Deus summoned every ounce of willpower he had left, struggling to banish the invader that sought to consume him. The noise echoed louder with each impact. Nix and Farvi shot awake, their muscles tense and eyes wide. "What the hell?" Farvi muttered, grimacing as pain shot through his body while he struggled to stand. In the doorway, the farmer's face was pale and taut with fear. "Get out of here," the farmer said, voice shaking. "We were promised no trouble, and now your Tin Man friend is trying to break through the city walls with his head." Nix and Farvi exchanged a panicked look before bolting outside. Farvi's mind raced as he took in the chaotic scene. "Nix, go get help. I'll try to stop Deus from self-destructing." "Yes," Nix nodded, already sprinting towards the city gates. His heart pounded as he approached, finding two guards asleep at their post. He grabbed one by the arm, shaking him furiously. "You have to help me now." The soldier stirred, eyes half open with irritation. "Are you the reason for this god's damn noise?" Yes, Nix blurted out, nearly tripping over his words. "We found an orc in the forest and—" Before he could finish, the soldier's expression turned from confusion to alarm. At the word orc, he seized his trumpet and blared it without hesitation. The sharp, urgent sound cut through the night air, sparking a chain reaction as horns across the city picked up the call. Nix's eyes widened in horror. "What the fuck have you done? Nothing is going on!" The guard shoved him aside roughly, his voice laced with scorn. "Quiet, elf. The city is under attack. Just listen." Nix clenched his fists, preparing to unleash a barrage of insults that would be remembered for ages, but the pounding of heavy boots on cobblestones stopped him. From the upper city, a full battalion of paladins marched out, armor glinting ominously in the moonlight. This was no simple alarm. It was the signal for martial law. Nix collapsed to his knees, eyes fixed on the advancing soldiers. "We are so fucked," he whispered. The whispers and prayers of the orc gods rumbled in Deus's head, rising and falling like a storm. Excited, Deus screamed in agony, fighting with every ounce of strength he had left. He lashed out wildly, fists pounding the air, each strike a desperate attempt to break free from the trance. The mechanical screeches echoed into the night, a harrowing symphony of defiance and torment. Suddenly, amid the cacophony, a new voice emerged, soft, serene, familiar.
"Wake up."
The voice cut through the noise like a beacon, guiding him. Deus shuddered as if struck, the red glow of his visors flickering. He blinked, vision clearing to reveal the ruins of the wall he had smashed, and the worried face of Farvi, who stood as if in silent prayer, eyes locked in a gaze of calm determination. "What happened?" Deus asked, his voice strained and laced with confusion. Farvi's expression shifted, relief flooding his features. "I thought we had lost you," he shouted, and without warning, he grabbed Deus in an embrace that felt more like an anchor than affection. "Get up, giant, you need to be pulled together." With Favi steadying him, the two set off for the city gate where Nyx had gone for help. The blaring alarm that filled the city had Favi's nerves on edge. The words of Julius, their informant, echoed in his mind. "If you do anything serious, we will all end up on the noose." Glancing at Deus, Favi wondered if constructs like him could even feel fear or anxiety. As they neared the gate, a scene of tension and spectacle unfolded. A battalion of paladins stood in formation, their silver armor gleaming under the torchlight. At the forefront was Lord Hagen, flanked by his trusted advisor, and beside them, a subdued Nyx, head lowered as if awaiting judgment. Deus stepped forward and saluted, a gesture steeped in the old ways. Favi, eyes narrowed, observed the powerful paladin with suspicion. "Deus!" Lord Hagen's voice boomed, laced with irritation. "Would you care to explain what the hell is going on? The entire city is on high alert with reports of an orc attack, and yet I see no sign of any green-skinned invader." "Oh, great, Lord Hagen," Deus said, straining to project respect despite his exhaustion. "Allow me to explain. Favi, during a hunt, encountered an orc. We joined him during the fight and managed to subdue the beast. As proof, we offer this." He held up the massive, jagged orcish axe, its dark metal glinting ominously. "And bloody orc so close to the city walls, huh?" Lord Hagen's eyes widened, the lines of worry deepening on his brow. "This is grave news indeed, but not grave enough to warrant martial law. Someone will answer for this unnecessary alarm." He paused, gaze flicking to Nyx. "Thank you for your report, Deus. You and your companions are to report to my quarters immediately. We have matters to discuss." Favi swallowed hard, exchanging a wary glance with Nyx as they followed Deus past the paladins, the heavy clang of their steps echoing like the drumbeat of fate.